Chairman Dr. 𝗂𝗵𝗲𝗓 of Chettinad Group, Vice Chancellor Dr. Meenakshi, former Vice Chancellor Dr. Balasubramaniam, faculty members, officials, my dear students. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be invited to address all of you and share my thoughts on the International Women's Day. As Chairman said, I was also wondering why a male should be invited to address the students on the International Women's Day, and that is why, to play it safe, I requested my wife to join me to be with you, because as you know very well, behind every man's success, or for that matter failure, there is a woman. As the name of the institution suggests, I can see that all of you are well taken care of. So I have to be very careful with my speech, so I shall begin carefully and end carefully as well. I would like to start by saying the author Bell Hooks, she said, if any female feels the need that she needs anything beyond herself to legitimate and validate her existence, she is already giving away her power to be self-defining, her agency, unquote. In other words, men do not need to give women equal rights, they already have it. All that is required is for them to exercise it in the manner that they would like to do so. So it is not up to men to give women equal rights. It is up to women to therefore claim their rightful place, which always has been in existence. And towards the end of my speech, I will also talk about the remarks that Chairman Dr. Muthaiah made about some of you, both men and women, boys and girls, having access to this very prized medical education and how to make use of it. It also has broader implications for what we economists call as women's labor force participation rate in the Indian economy, and comparing it to developed countries and other developing countries. And I will share some thoughts with you towards the end of my speech. When it comes to the contribution of men and women to the economy and society, it is unfair to compare across genders. Their invaluable services to society and mankind are something that goes beyond standard metrics such as gross domestic product, gross value added, or stock market indices, etc. And given the topic for the day given to me is the role of medical personnel and their contribution to Indian economy, I would like to emphasize and speak in general about the role of human resources in the healthcare sector. There is one important thing that distinguishes all of you from any other service. Even though you might say technology is intruding even into the medical space, and therefore there is a genuine fear in some minds that technology may take over our jobs. Maybe diagnosis, maybe analyzing samples and giving laboratory results, etc., can be enhanced by technology. But this is one profession where human judgment is extremely important, which comes through years of observation, years of intuition, which I think for a long time may not be replaced by artificial intelligence, even if it is as intelligent as ChatGPT. There is one more angle that makes you indispensable. And I understand that at least 60% of you speak Tamil. So those who don't speak Tamil, please pardon me. There is one word in Tamil which technology or artificial intelligence cannot substitute or provide. That word in Tamil is Manitha Neyam. The human touch. That is why it is called Manitha Neyam. There is no neutral word for this. So the compassion, the sensitivity that one brings to the job as medical professionals, whether you are in a nursing care or a doctor or any other healthcare professional, that may not be replaceable by technology. So you must feel very secure about your job. And I must also say, in the interest of full disclosure, that this point was given to me by my wife. She asked me to include this point in my speech, and I have to say, therefore, the credit for this point goes to her. So, when it comes to healthcare, I must first speak about the institution that you all belong to. In fact, the initiative that your chairman took to reach out to me when he came to know that I'm going to be visiting Chennai for a few days, that itself speaks of the vision and the initiative and the drive that he has brought to creating this set of educational institutions which incorporate research, which incorporate sustainable development, green aspects, etc. And look at the auditorium. Even modern commercial auditoriums do not have this impressive space and comfortable seating, acoustic systems, etc. So you are all, as he said, you are all privileged to be where you are, and a lot of credit, as he said, must go to your parents that they managed to find the resources and the drive to send you here, and the institution that has invested in you. Therefore, when it comes to healthcare, the role of CARE, C-A-R-E, Chettinad Academy of Research and Education, finds a very special mention. CARE offers, as I understand, even though I'm a first-time visitor to this facility, and all that I know is I have only visited CARE online and not in person until now, I understand the state-of-the-art infrastructure that you have. And what strikes me also impressively is the vision of the institution to make you all global citizens with empathy, with a drive and desire for lifelong learning. These aspects impress me a great deal and tell me that both the heart and the mind of the founders are in the right place. And more importantly, while many of the schools that have been created here pertain to medicine and healthcare, there is also a school of law and a school of architecture. The chairperson, Dr. Muthaiah, rightly mentioned in his remarks to you that you may become a successful, in a commercial sense, medical practitioner. But you also need to understand a little bit of economics, a little bit of finance, to be able to manage your savings, your wealth wisely. That is why it is very nice for me to notice that this institution also gives you a holistic, all-round learning rather than simply training you only in medicine and healthcare and nursing, psychotherapy, etc. That itself shows you that they are interested in creating well-rounded, learned citizens who can take care of themselves and therefore take care of the rest of the world as well. Health has both a direct component of human well-being, and it is a form of human capital that increases the individual's capabilities. A report by the World Health Organization suggests that each dollar spent in the healthcare sector adds $0.77 contribution to economic growth, almost 1-to-1, or 80% of the money spent in healthcare directly contributes to economic growth. This has been reinforced by other international organizations such as OECD that tell you that a mere 10% increase in life expectancy ensures economic growth of around 0.4% per year. Extra 0.4% per year. So a 10% increase in life expectancy contributes to economic growth of 0.4% every year. And it is even more in developing economies like India, because we have a very young population. Keeping them healthy is making them vital economic agents. So you are not just taking care of the nation's physical health, you are also going to take care of the nation's economic health indirectly. So we will owe you a great deal in the years ahead. Talking about the investment in healthcare, I would like to share a little bit about the components of investment in healthcare. In the short term, always, a sizable share of health spending goes towards channelizing physical health infrastructure, medical colleges, and also more importantly, direct transfers to citizens for like 𝗬𝗓𝗏 Bharat, etc. However, the benefits of robust health infrastructure in the long term is sustained by investing in human capacity of the healthcare workers and medical personnel, as we call them, such as doctors, nurses, midwives, etc. Investment in the health workforce, therefore, is a driver of progress towards Sustainable Development Goals. Some of you might have heard of it, SDG. There are 17 goals that all nations in the world have subscribed to, have committed to achieve by 2030. And this aligns with the global strategy on human resources for health. The Workforce 2030 report, Health Workforce 2030 report, notes that adequate investment in the health workforce, along with availability, accessibility, acceptability, and coverage, leads to overall social and economic development, along with improvements in the health of the population. What are the drivers of the Indian healthcare industry? Once again, I turn to a recent WHO report. India needs 1.8 million more doctors, 18 lakhs, 18 laksham, nurses and midwives to achieve the minimum threshold of 44.5 health workers per 10,000 population by 2030. So in other words, the employment opportunities in this field are going to be immense. So unlike people in other sectors, you don't have to worry about remaining unemployed at all. If anything, you are going to be in greater demand. Therefore, I am very happy that the Chettinad Academy of Research and Education has invested in several disciplines of healthcare and medicine through the 7 or 8 schools that they have set up, along with research. That is why it is good to see that not only there is undergrad and postgraduate education, but also PhD students here. And the social developments in the world, not just in India, aging population, growing middle class, the rising proportion of lifestyle diseases, increased emphasis on public-private partnership, adoption of digital technology, including telemedicine, then India becoming a hub of spiritual and wellness tourism, and the need for affordable, scalable, and quick solutions. All these things put together are going to drive the demand for healthcare personnel. In fact, most of you must be aware, if not, you should be knowing, while India has a young population, many of the developed countries already have aging populations. And some states in India, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, which are slightly economically more advanced than the northern states, also have declining fertility rates. That is, population growth has peaked and is even probably slowing, declining the growth rate. So, in other words, increasing life expectancy and reduced reproduction rates mean globally, elder care is going to be an important field for all of us. Combine that with nuclear families, which means loneliness is an important mental health issue that is going to come, unfortunately, along with rising prosperity. Because when people are relatively less poor, they feel the need to be together, to work in unison. Once we become prosperous, we also tend to isolate ourselves into nuclear families. So loneliness, stress, elder care, mental health challenges coming from the stress of dealing with multiple challenges are going to be important areas which will be looking for attention in the 21st century. So I would like you all to be aware of those factors as you graduate. How do you address them? First, as he said, the chairman said in his remarks, education has to be holistic. It is not enough if you score good grades in your specific subjects, but you must also be able to connect the dots. In 21st century, while you are already in a subject which cannot be taken over by technology, which is human care, there is one more aspect that technology cannot touch. It is the ability to connect dots. It is the ability to develop interdisciplinary perspectives. If you have that, you will be able to help others solve their problems. In other words, no matter how many things that people will listen to you because you are a doctor, if you can reinforce that with a life lived by yourself as an example, then you will be able to command the respect of your patients as well. You cannot advocate someone to give up smoking if you are a chain smoker yourself. It won't carry the credibility that will come if you practice it with conviction yourself. So in other words, as practitioners of medicine, you must also be practitioners of a holistic lifestyle so that you can impart its value, its essence, and its utility to your patients and to your clients. And one of the things that you would have noticed in India, if you simply observe and keep your eyes open, you don't have to read economic surveys, that obesity is becoming a bigger issue in this country. National Family Health Survey number 5 that came up in 2018-20 period, across states, across income, across gender, across rural-urban division, one common factor, and across young and old, one common factor is the rising obesity of Indians. In fact, to put it somewhat in a semi-lighter vein, India may become fatter before it becomes richer. And how do you address that? You have to be aware of what the value of a nutritional food, and much of healthcare lies in prevention rather than in treatment. And those are the aspects that as medical professionals you should be not only aware of and campaign for. For example, food labeling in India does not carry yet the required traffic signal kind of rating, green, amber and red, in terms of how healthy the particular snack is. Notwithstanding the best efforts of the Food Safety Standards Association of India, many private companies are resisting labeling their food according to these 3 indicators, green, amber and red. And people like you have to be aware of them, and the way you advise your clients will depend on you also being aware of them and practicing it. The contribution of basically community health workers, therefore, to the economy comes not only through direct health services, which you are going to be providing, but like what I mentioned, through also knowledge transfer in the areas of nutrition. And therefore, frontline workers have to be trained themselves, not only in technology, but also in healthy living, healthy eating, then going on to give them healthy health care as well through medicines. Medicine should be the last line of defense for a healthy life. And also, more importantly, sanitation practices, etc., which is where Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and clean toilets in every household, all these things matter. In the last 20 years, India has a very proud track record in one aspect which I want to share with you. The maternal mortality rate in India used to be 327 per 1 lakh live births 15 years ago. Now it has come down to 97, a 70% decline in the 15 years. And under 5 mortality for children has come down. In fact, the Indian maternal mortality rate decline of 70% in the last 15 to 20 years is one of the highest in the world. So what the government is doing through its various schemes like Clean India, Swachh Bharat, Suraksha Bharat, and also by Poshan scheme, which have all the nutrition midday meal schemes have been merged into the Poshan Abhiyan. These are all fundamental ways to create healthy children so that they go on to become healthy adults as well. I come to the last point which I want to touch upon about the labor force participation rate of women in India. There are 3 kinds of lies Mark Twain said. Many of you might have heard about it. Lies, damn lies, and anybody knows? What are the 3 kinds of lies? Lies, damn lies, and statistics. Statistics can lie, right? We can pick and choose the numbers we want to present. The way India measures women's labor force participation rate, because on the basis of numbers that you see, India has supposedly a very low women's labor force participation rate. But nothing can be farther from the truth. Because international agencies tell us that only paid work should not be counted as being part of the labor force. Indian women, because of their family structures and community living, communal living, undertake several economic activities that are probably unpaid, but they still contribute to economic activity. And therefore, they should be counted as being part of the labor force. The second reason why we cannot compare these statistics across countries is that all countries do not follow uniform standards and methods of measurement. And the third important dimension is, you must always ask yourself whether women contribute to economic activity only by undertaking paid work. Because the role of a mother, which the chairman touched upon in his initial remarks, in raising healthy children, not just physically but also mentally healthy children, is immeasurable. The contribution that a mother makes to ensuring emotional and mental health of her children and raising them as economically productive adults is invaluable. Therefore, please be aware that it should be your choice to make whether you want to be part of the labor force in a commercial sense of the word, or whether you want to contribute economic activity either through unpaid or paid work. But in both ways, you should be rest assured that your contribution, whether it is measured or not, counts for a lot. Because what counts may not be measurable, and what is measured may not count. Okay? So with those words, I want to conclude my remarks. I have spoken for 24 minutes. I want to end before it crosses 26 minutes. I would like to end with the final word on the institution care. What drives caregivers in any country is their empathy, which they develop throughout their profession, and certainly which they imbibe from the organizational culture in the colleges that they study and in the hospitals that they work in. This is exactly what CARE envisions doing, to offer such a transformative education to all of you and enable all of you to become responsible, empathetic global citizens and contributing towards a sustainable future. CARE is already doing a yeoman's service to the country and to all of us in the process. Therefore, I wish the management, faculty, staff members, and students of CARE all the best in your endeavors to strive for innovation, inventiveness, entrepreneurship, while transforming your research and your pursuit into a vibrant, knowledgeable, and healthy economy. As your mission statement says, do not give up your learning until your very last breath. I wish you all the very best for 2023 and beyond. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for a very wonderful speech on the role of human resources in healthcare center, and also highlighting our roles and its importance as future healthcare professionals.